Hey, Eric Roberts here, Apex Piano. I'm going to be talking specifically about questions in this video for piano technician mentorship. So those of you learning piano tuning with the Apex Piano Technicians Mentorship. If you're watching this video on YouTube, which I may leave this one on YouTube, I can't decide if these will stay on YouTube or if they'll just be live streams. Either way, anyway, I'm going to be diving into a few questions. First of all, I'm going to answer questions from Sam, and this is one of the students in the course. So Sam, I feel like this is the quickest, best way to answer this, and I'll give you a very good answer. Plus, I don't have to type as much. And then I have another couple questions from students on the network APTN, the 43 social, which is where you guys should all be if you're in my mentorship. You'll get a link to activate your social mentorship in here, and then you can ask me any questions. It's like our own private Facebook, basically. It's not even anything like, it's like Facebook, but it's not Facebook. It's just for us and just for people in the mentorship. But anyway, let's look into this first question. I recently joined the course and I'm really enjoying it. He says, "You're a great teacher." Thank you, Sam, for saying that. That's nice. Maybe I'll blow this up a little bit. Thank you, Sam, for saying that. I'm a great teacher, and thanks for creating the course. Okay, that's good. Let me see what this says here. And he says his main question here is the first one I haven't come across any videos yet on how to directly set up and navigate the AccuTuner, and also how to read it. I understand that the lights spin one way to show that you're flat and another way for sharp, but in the videos when you say the lights have stopped, I can see that. However, it seems to stop on different parts of the light wheel. It's not clear what it means or why that is. Are there any more in-depth videos on your site or YouTube on the AccuTuner? Yeah, I believe, and yes, I was kind of, question kind of confused me, because I talk a lot about the AccuTuner. So I'm going to, first of all, Sam, go through the course and just kind of scroll down and look and see if there's any AccuTuner videos. And when I put this video up in the mentorship social, I'll put some links to videos. But I'll just explain it right here that the light wheel on the AccuTuner, it is hard to read. The light wheel will go like, it'll be going all over the place, and then it'll stop like this, like this. And then that means it's in tune. Anytime the three lights line up, I think that's the key. Anytime the three lights light up together, then it's in tune. If it's like this, if it's like that, if it's like this, wherever it is, when those three lights line up, and you get a solid stop, then you are in tune. So yeah, I have videos on the YouTube channel. I think I'll just find some and put some links to them in the mentorship for you, so you can dive through those. But you can search the thing. But basically, setting up the AccuTuner, there's a whole video in the online course about that. I'll put a link to it for you. But in terms of reading that AccuTuner, in the middle range of the piano, the AccuTuner will act erratic. Or, I mean, in the high range, it'll act erratic. It'll be all over, it'll spin really fast, and it'll barely stop for a second and spin. That's where you have to sort of like get used to it. Because one of my guys I was training before, he was waiting and trying to get the AccuTuner to stop dead perfect every time, and that will not happen, okay? Especially in the beginning, especially on a Spinet, on an older piano, on a junkier piano, it's not going to ever just bam, just be dead. Now in the studio, when I'm tuning some of these real high-end studio pianos in this really great environment, you can get the AccuTuner to just stop every single time like dead on. It's like perfect. It's like it knows where it is. But the AccuTuner's hearing all of the inharmonicity. It's hearing all the upper partials, the lower partials. It's reading into the note, and sometimes it's kind of jittery. But when you see those three lights light up, even if it's just a second, and then it's kind of moving, then they light up, and you'll see that it's like that's where it thinks that it is in tune. Okay, so just kind of practice that. Different registers of the piano, the AccuTuner acts differently. If you're using the AccuTuner and it's not acting right, move the AccuTuner 2 feet over on the piano, or move it over to the other side, or move it, or open it up, or put it down on the key bed or something. Sometimes it depends on where it's sitting on the piano. It acts a little more funny. That's just, I think, because of the way acoustics are. All right, so the second question. Another thing I was hoping you could please give me advice on how to approach a possible mentor in my area. I have someone in mind who can come to my home to tune my piano and actually inspired me to get into piano tuning. However, I'm not really sure how to approach it. What are some good ways to open up with in your experience? Also, do you usually pay them? Otherwise, what's the incentive for them? I'm afraid that asking him to teach me, he might just see me as a possible future competition and not want to. All these are good. Yeah, this is a pretty loaded question. I'll just tell you how I found my mentor was he was my piano tuner when I was a kid. And then when I got older, I was at a church working as a worship leader, and we got a church piano was given to the church, so he came in to fix the strings, and I hired him. And then when I was there, he said, "Hey, you should do piano tuning. I'm getting old, and all of us are getting old. You ought to do this." And so we were friends, and I knew of him, and he really was somebody who wanted to teach. Now I've met a lot of piano tuners who won't teach you anything. They'll tell you stuff that's not even necessarily true, or they'll only tell you half the truth. I'm not kidding. They don't want you to know what they're doing. And yeah, it could become a situation where, oh, you want to learn piano tuning? Well, you're going to be my competition. That's why we started the APT and mentorship. So honestly, I'm your mentor. The course is your mentor. If you can find somebody organically in town, I would avoid paying somebody to mentor you, or just, really with the course you've already paid for, you can ask me as many questions as you want, watch all the videos. I do think that having somebody to work with is key, though. Having somebody in town that you like, if they're a good mentor. So, I mean, there's a lot going on in my head when you ask that question, because if you get the wrong mentor, it could derail your career. And that's why you've signed up for the APT and mentorship. You believe in the way that we tune pianos, the way that we work on pianos, and everything's in the mentorship, and you can ask me questions. I have a fear sometimes. People get a mentor, and then they've emailed me and said, my mentor says to do this, he says to do this, and I'm like, don't do that. Don't do. Everybody's going to have their own opinion, but you're going to have to find somebody that you really believe in. And there are some people that just do stuff that I don't believe in. So it's going to be hard. And as a very, very entry level piano tuner taking this mentorship, I would get well through it. I would almost be through it before I went to find a mentor. I would find out what you need extra, ask me about it, and then, try to find somebody. If you can organically find somebody who's really good, who honestly likes you and just thinks it's hard. I think that'd be hard. And that's why we started the mentorship. So I would say, finish into the mentorship. Get well into it where you're feeling comfortable. You're going through everything I've taught you. You're asking me plenty of questions. And then as you move forward, you can say, like, I really need help with this. I'm going to find somebody who can show me, or I'm going to go, go on these. It's hard because I talked to one of my other students last week that just finished the course, and he was saying, I was on this Facebook group and they told me to do this. And it's like, it can be insanity. So I would just say, use me during this time in the Apex mentorship as your main sounding board. Don't go off and find somebody who's going to tell you, like, for example, the biggest thing that I think of is you find the wrong mentor who maybe he's tuning pianos, maybe he's successful doing things, but then he tells you, oh, you don't need an AccuTuner, you should tune by ear. You should do it because of this. And it gets you into the weeds of all this stuff and derails you from having success. That's my biggest fear, I think, from what I've had. Or they tell you just basic stuff that's not right. Like, you should start out tuning half price and get your feet on the ground, or you should just stuff that's terrible advice. So if you find a mentor that you like, it's organic, it feels right, I would look at my mentors as more friends. These guys were guys that they believed in me, they liked me, they knew me, and we had boundaries. obviously I didn't work for the stores they worked for. I stayed out of their clients and stuff like that, and I was working my own business, and they championed me. I'm like, go, and when I called them up in the field and said, hey, I got a problem, they said, do this, but you can get in a situation where you have competitors. You can get in a situation where they are threatened by you. You can get in a situation where they don't like you. You get in a situation where they don't know what they're doing, and then they're telling you to do stuff that isn't right. So in this early stage, I would stick with the APT and mentorship, and then grow yourself into a place, meet some people, question everything, even question me. I mean, if I say something you think, well, that's dumb, go do some research, find out for yourself, because that's what you have to do to be successful. You're going to have to question everybody and everything along the way and find out what works for you. All right. Lastly, in one of the videos, you explained that if a piano is beyond a certain amount of cents out of tune, you'll need to do one full tuning to get it in the ballpark and then go back and fine tune it. Is that process as straightforward as it sounds, or is there more to it than simply tuning twice? This process is not that straightforward. This process is not just tune the piano twice. This is what most people will tell you. If you have to, do a pitch raise, just tune the piano twice. That is not true. And so I need you, Sam, to go through the full course and really understand this. This is I teach a lot about this, even in the social app. I did a full webinar on tension, and I talk about this in great nerdy detail. So I want you to go back and watch. If you go into the I believe, I'm not really sure. Let's see, I'm not sure if I can find it here. I might be logged in the wrong thing. But if you go into, let's see, I think I can go back to the network, and then, okay, go to courses, and then there are the courses here. If you go into the course that is called, you gotta go a while because there's a lot of courses. APT in Resource Hub. Okay, when you get in here, this webinar will be actually uploaded into here too. But here it is, live stream. I'm on a live stream, bud. This will be live stream customer relations. That's not it. This will be hammer control, front string tension explained. This live stream right here, I explained front string tension. That's not the one though. The mutes you need. I'll show you. There is a live stream in here that is all about front, but I explained front string tension. That is not it. Never mind. Just ixnay that. There's a webinar in here, and I can't find it right now. Maybe I have to link it, but it's all about the pitch raise and the tuning and the process. But if you go into the course, there's a whole section about tension and tuning, and there's a whole course section in the course about overpull and the 5-minute pitch raise. So it is not just as easy as tuning it twice. You have to understand, and I believe this is where you're going to become a really good piano technician. If you understand tension versus tuning. So some people say just tune the piano twice and it'll be in tune. But tuning the piano twice doesn't help, because if it's 50 cents flat, you tune it once. By the time you get to the end, it's going to be like 30 cents flat. Even if you've pulled it all up, it's going to be flat again. So then you could do that again. And then you could say it's 30 cents flat, and you tune it, and now it's 10 cents flat. It's going to keep going flat as you're pulling it. That's why we overpull it, and that's why we're going to have to understand tension before you can really get into understanding. It's really just a creative, an artistic version of this. You want to understand tuning versus tension, and then I'm going to teach you in the 5-minute pitch raise how to overpull, how to measure, how to get it where you want it to be. And you can usually do that in 2 tunings, but it isn't just as simple as tune the piano twice. If you just tune the piano twice without employing stretch or without employing your knowledge of tension and where the piano is and where you want it to be, then the piano will not be solid or in tune. So thank you. Look forward to hearing back from you. I'm very excited about the course. Thank you so much, Sam. I'm really excited about you getting in there too. And then I want to go into, there was a couple things in the mentorship here. We'll go to communities. We'll go to Apex Piano Technicians, and I'm going to drop down here. I said Happy Thanksgiving, and we're going to do this. And so David Alcorn asked me a question about money, and I did just a short thing. His question was, do you ever charge $75 to go to a customer's house and tell them the current state of their piano? I get inquiries about tuning a piano that hasn't been tuned in 20 years, but they aren't sure how committed they are to getting it back in tune and keeping it in there. I'm wondering if charging less than a full tuning price for an inspection of sorts is good, and then offering to apply that towards a full tuning if they decide to go for it. Okay, so that's a loaded question again. Do I ever charge $75 to go to somebody's house? Maybe. If somebody calls me and I just feel like, yeah, they just need me to come look at it, we have an inspection fee. We use it for pre-purchase inspections. We use it for insurance write-ups. We use it for, just any repairs. If we just do a repair, not a tuning, it's $150. It doesn't matter what you charge for it. It matters that it's close to your tuning fee, maybe a little less than your tuning fee, but we don't. We put it right about at our tuning fee. At our lowest tuning fee, which around $150. Let's say it's $100 or what's $150 or whatever it is. Let's say your tuning fee is $175, and then your inspection fee might be like $155 or $145. It's some people did make it cheaper, like $99, but you still have to go to their house, drive to their house, take hour. It still takes almost as long to do what you're talking about in this thing than it does to just tune the piano. And so what I normally do, especially when people call, they call all the time and say, Hey, my piano has been tuned in 150 years, and I don't know if I want to do it. I don't know if it can even be tuned. Can you come look at it and tell me? This is the heart of your question, David. No, that is not. That is something I do not do, because what I tell them is this: I say, hey, look, it's going to cost you $150 for me to just come look and talk to you. The best way to do it is just pay for the tuning. It's 150. I'll get over there. I'll do an inspection. Our tuning includes an inspection, a condition report. I'll do a full evaluation of the piano. If for some reason the piano can't be tuned, or it's broken, or it's way out of, I'm going to give you an estimate on what it would take to get the piano back to shape. But 95% of the time, I can just tune the piano for you. It's probably gonna need a pitch raise, and so it'll be a X amount of dollars if I do that. You just give them the prices right up front. But to get in the house, I'm going to charge them 150. I'm going to charge them my full, basically standard tuning fee. And if I get in there and it needs a pitch raise, that's going to be additional. If it needs repairs, that's going to be additional. If they say, hey, we don't want to spend $800 on this piano getting it fixed, I say, that's fine. I understand it's probably not worth that anyway. It's $150 today for my service, and then I get paid the full 150 and I leave. So the thing is right here is, this is me answering you. So it's okay sometimes if it's like super close to my house and I feel like they're telling me like a story. I'm like, I just need to come look at it before I want to get involved. Sometimes I'll be like, I'll come over for $75. That's just me discounting my standard price. It doesn't happen a lot, very rarely. Generally, I stick to the rules of, hey, if I'm going to come over, it's 150, and I'm going to be over there. If it sounds like some weird story and I'm just not even sure I want to get involved with it, I may say, hey, I'm gonna come over, just take a quick peek at it. It'll be $75. I'm not saying that I would never do that. I'm just saying that in general for the business model, what I would do is tell them right off, hey, because I get that call all the time. The piano's probably not even tunable, but can you come look at it? No, because most of these pianos are tunable. About 99% of them can be tuned. So, you're going to just go straight for the tuning. Hey, it's probably fine. I'm going to come over. It's going to be 150. If it needs a pitch raise, it's going to be X amount more. That's generally what's going to happen. I really doubt that it's going to be untunable, but if it is, you just have to pay a service fee. And you can just tell them those three things up front. I have a minimum service fee, a tuning fee, and you work that into your website and everything else. So your idea is right, but I do reject the idea that all the time. I tell people no on that because they will ask me specifically that question all the time. Can you just come take a look at it? That's a waste of my time, because if I come look at the piano, I'm going to have to sit there and tune some of the notes. I'm going to have to take it all apart. I'm going to get all my tools out. I'm going to do all this work just to tell them I think it can be tuned. It's a waste of time. You really need to tune the piano, and that's what I tell them. I got to tune it. To know if it can be tuned, I'm going to have to tune it. I'm going to have to tune it to tell you if it can be, if I start tuning it and it's out and it won't hold tune and everything's out of whack and it just breaks strings left and right, you're going to charge them a basic 150 service call and tell them, I'm sorry, this piano is untunable. But the only real way, and the best answer to this, the only real way to know if the piano is tunable or even able to be saved is if you tune it, if you get your hammer on it. Now, one last thing before I end this video, I did go to a house a couple years ago, and it was the same thing, $150 fee. I got there, the piano had rust all over it, had mice droppings all inside of it. I opened it up, it stunk, and the family was like, we don't know, we got it for free, and we weren't really that married to it. This was my grandma's, we don't know, we just got it. And I was like, this is trash. This piano is trash. There's no way we're going to be able to save it. They were like, okay, yeah, we'll get it out of here, and they paid me $150 and I left. So, or whatever my service fee was, 150, 125, 100 matter. I'm not like setting prices for you. I'm telling you what my published prices are. So I did. They didn't think anything of it. They knew, like, I'm going to pay this guy to come over here and he's going to either tune it or he's going to tell us that it's wrong, but they're getting your professional opinion. That's what I would do every single time. That way you get it. So guys, that's it for today's question and answers. I will post this video up. It'll be on YouTube for a little bit, and then I'll go ahead and put it inside the 43 Social APTN community app that we have here. And then you can get on here and you can ask all the questions. You can see what's going on. You can talk directly to me. You can do hammer control field webinar. That was good. Hammer angle webinar. I did that one a couple months ago. Let's see. I'm looking down in here. I'm trying to find the one that I did. I'm gonna have to find the one I did on string tension because it was great. and it really will answer a lot of questions. So if you have any questions, comments, make some chats, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and let me know what your questions are. If you haven't joined yet, go to apexpiano.com, and I'll see you on the inside.